Welcome, my name is Philip Foltz,
Christy Toomey.
Maria Van Rossum.
and we are actually part of a company known as Canaway, and we are a subsidiary of Medical Marijuana Inc., and we are a publicly traded company, the very first publicly traded cannabis company in the United States under MJNA, and have been since 2009. And we're here today just to share with you. We are coming to you from Las Vegas, where we're holding our national conference, which is the national conference in Henderson, Nevada, at the Weston Lakes Resort. And we're actually going to be here for what is known as the Canaway Empower National Conference 2018. So we're excited that you are joining us today so we can give you a little bit of information about our company.
Hello, everyone. I see a bunch of people popping on here from all over the place. Thank you guys for taking time out to join us today. Philip's going to give you some information about this hemp movement that is happening, and we are in the end of prohibition with a lot of exciting things going on, so we just wanted to pop on this station and educate some people out there. So
thank you. So a lot of people don't understand there really is a difference between hemp and marijuana. Even though they're within the cannabis family, they're different species of plants. And so understanding that when you think of cannabis, think of citrus. So when you look at the citrus family of plants, you actually have grapefruit, oranges, lemons, limes. All plants are genetically different, and the same thing falls in the cannabis family. You have marijuana, which is grown mainly for THC, and you have hemp, which actually has very little to no THC in it, and actually is very useful because there's over 50,000 different products that can be made from hemp, and a lot of people don't understand that. So it's very unique. You can make clothing from it. You can make nutritional products from the seed, which is actually very nutritious for you. The seed actually has all the omega-3, 6, 9 fatty acids and all the essential and non-essential amino acids. So from a nutritional standpoint, it's a very nutritious plant, and it's actually better on your digestive system when you actually ingest it. At the same time, you can make rope from it. There's a compound known as hempcrete, which is one of the most strongest building materials on the planet. It's actually antimicrobial, antifungal. At the same time, it's flame resistant, mold resistant, mildew resistant, and it's actually better for the environment because it's carbon negative. At the same time, these cannabis plants have things known as cannabinoids. THC is a cannabinoid that we're most familiar with because that's a psychoactive cannabinoid. However, there are about 120 to 140 other cannabinoids found within cannabis plants. And we represent a company that actually is a subsidiary of Medical Marijuana Inc., as I mentioned before. And we actually make hemp-based products that are legal to sell in all 50 US states. And you might ask yourself, well, how in the world is that possible if cannabis isn't legal in the United States? And it's because we use European hemp sources. And that hemp is actually imported into the United States and can be actually used to make many, many different products. So we actually brought some of the products here, if you wouldn't mind.
yeah,
I'll have you explain some of the products.
We can be your Vanna. Vanna.
There you go, Van.
So we'll start with our, as on our Canaway side under Medical Marijuana Inc., we actually have something known as our Cannabis Beauty Define line. And so our Cannabis Beauty Define line actually consists of multiple products, anything from our actual skincare, which has your typical cleansers, moisturizers, exfoliants, serums, and also this bath detox, which is amazing. A lot of people love our bath detox.
It's my favorite.
Yes.
So we're very passionate about our skincare because it actually has been featured in Vogue magazine, and it's gotten a lot of great reviews from estheticians, so it's very unique. Now, understanding that hemp itself is a very, it's a hyper accumulator, meaning that it actually pulls things from the soil. It does the same thing with your body. It actually can pull out some of those heavy metals and basically detoxify your skin, but at the same time put good nutrients back into your skin. So it's really unique how that works. And one of the things that's also unique about hemp is it's very high in a compound known as cannabidiol, and CBD is a cannabinoid that is non-psychoactive. Now, if you think of THC where you get high, CBD does not get you high, and we have multiple products. And one of the unique things about our products are all of our products are made in Europe. They're extracted using supercritical CO2 extraction, so we do not use any butane, propane, ethanol, alcohol, like a lot of the other carriers of CBD and THC products do. At the same time, we use ISO IEC accredited lab testing, and we triple lab test all of our products. So when you get our products, you can guarantee that there are no harmful solvents. You can guarantee that they're pure. You can guarantee that there's no heavy metals. You can guarantee that there are also no fungus, mold, mildew, E. coli, salmonella, mitocytes. So we're very pure when it comes to how our products are actually produced. And that's important to understand, because as this cannabis movement is going on further, it's important to understand that a lot of these companies are not following proper practices. There's pesticides being used, there's herbicides being used, there's fungicides being used. You also have heavy metals from the soil. Naturally, you find those in the soil. And we actually grow on organic and natural soil through these farmers have been cultivating for centuries for industrial purposes. So we don't have the pesticides, we don't have the herbicides, we don't have the heavy metals in our products, which is important, because if you're putting it on your skin or if you're ingesting it into your body, that's important to know. The other thing that makes us very unique as well is that we actually have products that meet the World Anti-Doping Association. And so with that, we have our Pure line. So I'll let Christy show you here a little bit.
This is actually our, no? This is actually, we have some capsules that come with this as well. That's actually our pure CBD capsules and our pure CBD oil. They come together as a monthly supplement, and it's 1,750 milligrams for the entire month. So it's very, very important to know how many milligrams you are getting in your products. A lot of people out there are selling a small amount of milligrams. The first time I purchased one in a dispensary, I believe it was 30 milligrams for the whole month, and it didn't really do much. So 1,750 milligrams, and these are our pure products, which means it's 0 THC. So it does meet the anti-doping laws, where athletes, government workers, anybody that cannot test positive for THC would use these pure products. We also have the Pure Gold. Do you want to explain the difference in the full spectrum?
Sure. So again, as I mentioned before, we have underneath the cannabinoids, there are about 120 to 140 cannabinoids found within the cannabis plants. Now again, we're talking about hemp here, we're not talking about marijuana. You know, so when you're thinking about this, because it's a cannabis plant, there is a small amount of THC. According to the federal laws, it has to be less than 0.3% in order for us to legally import it in from another country and actually sell it into other states. And so with that, a lot of the products do have a small amount of THC. However, our company went a step above and beyond, and what they did was they found a way to isolate CBD by itself, and by doing so, it allows for any government workers, it allows for any police officers, fire department, anybody who drug tests can use our product because there's no CBD in it, or I'm sorry, there's no THC in it. So that keeps you from testing positive, because if it only has cannabidiol by itself and there's no THC, you can't test positive. And then we also have our gold formula here, and on the gold, this is actually a little unique, and it's very very unique in this industry, because what they've done is they found a way to actually create what's called a full spectrum. So you have multiple trace amounts of cannabinoids found in this product, and then what happens is they're able to remove the trace amounts of THC off of it and allow this to still be a pure formula. So this does not meet anti-doping laws, because remember, the MMA fighters and some of the athletes now are allowed to use CBD, but again, this has other cannabinoids in it, so you have to be very cautious of that. But again, if you test, if you do a drug test for THC, there's no THC in this product or in the pure formulas, which is very unique. You will not find that very often, because even the companies that are labeling it THC free still have a small minimal amount of THC in it that could potentially test positive on a drug test. So it's very unique.
And I think it's an amazing story that we share about Mexico and how the whole reason why we came out with this pure product to begin with.
Sure. So understanding that, let's back up a little bit here. So Medical Marijuana Inc. is a publicly traded cannabis company in the United States and has been since 2009. Underneath Medical Marijuana Inc., we have multiple subsidiaries. We represent the subsidiary known as Canaway, which is a hemp lifestyle company that will produce hemp-based products. And we can get into a little bit more of the information on that in a little bit here. But understanding that underneath Medical Marijuana Inc., we also have a subsidiary known as Hemp Meds. Now, what Hemp Meds has done is they have actually found a way to produce what's called real scientific hemp oil. It is actually patented, and that real scientific hemp oil is a very high concentration of cannabidiol, which they're finding benefits from a therapeutical standpoint. With Hemp Meds' real scientific hemp oil, they are actually treating 10 medical indications in Brazil as a prescription for multiple conditions. In Mexico, the laws are very strict. They cannot have any THC whatsoever. So the company found a way to isolate CBD by itself, and that's why we have our pure CBD formulation as a nutritional supplement. Now, understanding that these are nutritional supplements when it comes to CBD, and if you're not familiar with CBD, I encourage you to do some research. There's a great place, it's a non-for-profit that you can go to. It's called ECHO, E-C-H-O, Connection, CONNECTION.org. So it's echoconnection.org. It's a non-for-profit where we actually can donate money into them and actually help children to be able to get CBD. And I did mention children. Yes, it is safe for children to use these products. And these RSHO, Real Scientific Hemp Oil products, are being used to treat a multitude of conditions in other countries. Now in the United States, it is actually considered a dietary supplement with our products. Understanding, and a lot of people don't realize this, is that we have what's called an endogenous cannabinoid system. And this endogenous cannabinoid system was discovered in 1992 and in 1995 by a scientist in Israel at the Hebrew University known as Dr. Raphael Mechoulam. And there's a wonderful documentary on YouTube. It's about 56 minutes long that actually goes over his discovery of the endogenous cannabinoid system. And what he found is that our bodies have receptors all over them that actually feed this system when you take in phytocannabinoids. And so that's why a lot of people are starting to find therapeutic benefit using CBD for multiple conditions, because when you feed the system, it naturally helps to balance your body out. And when your body is naturally balanced out, it can help with sleep, mood, appetite, hormone production. Many unique things start to happen within your body. So much so, a lot of people do not realize this, but our government has had a patent on cannabinoids since 1999. And that patent is actually known as cannabinoids as an antioxidant and neuroprotectant. And what they found, actually, just to be short on time here, if you get a chance, just go online and type in US patent 6630507 and do some research on your own. It's amazing what you'll find when it comes to this endogenous cannabinoid system and how cannabinoids can benefit your body. But as a dietary supplement, this system has been sitting idle. The last time we had hemp in the United States was in 1937. It was brought back in the 40s to produce rope for World War II, but really in the 70s is when basically the war on drugs began, and all cannabis plants were linked into one and treated into a Schedule I drug. And hemp should never have been put into that class. It's important to understand that our bodies were meant to be fed these cannabinoids.
And Philip, when I first, you were probably the same way, Maria, when I first found out that we have what's called the endogenous cannabinoid system in our body, the largest self-regulatory system in our body, and it has to be fed cannabinoids, my first question was, well, then why aren't we feeding our body? Well, we were prior to 1937, before the government took this amazing plant away from us. And prior to that, the animals were eating the hemp, we were eating the animals, it was in the soil, it was in the vegetables, it was in 90% of the medicines, and we were naturally feeding our bodies. So we have definitely been deficient. If you were, born after 1937, you have not had these receptors being fed. So that's very, very important. So that's another thing that we would also encourage you guys to do, is to get online and just research about the endogenous cannabinoid system.
Yes, for sure. And understanding that as more states become legal with cannabis, you'll find that a lot of these dispensaries are going to start carrying CBD-based products. Now, they're mainly there for THC purposes because of the medicinal or recreational use of THC, but CBD has a very important role in our bodies, and it's very important for us to be able to feed that system. And you have to be very cautious, though, where you're getting products from, because if you look on products that come from dispensaries, there's usually a plus minus 15% variance, which means that it could have more or less of something. They're not going through this ISO IEC accredited lab testing like we are. They're growing in the United States inside, usually indoors, which means a lot of times you'll find pesticides or herbicides or fungicides. Sometimes they're having problems with mites or worms on their plants, so they have no choice but to spray. It's not being used organically and naturally outside like our products are. And so again, we lab test everything 3 times in our process. And I highly encourage you, number one, to go to YouTube and look at that Raphael Mechoulam, the scientist, the endogenous cannabinoid system documentary, and understand that we have this system that's been discovered. It's the largest self-regulatory system in your body, and it has to be fed. The only way you can feed it is through cannabinoids. That's why we make multiple cannabinoid products. Some of those are, again, THC free, and some have a little bit, less than 0.3% THC. So you cannot get high from our products at all.
This one is my favorite. I just wanted to share this with you. We actually have a product that goes all the way up to 3,600 milligrams for the month. So 120 milligrams a day. This is our premium hemp oil. This is the gold. And this is my preference that I like to take to get as many milligrams in my body as possible with all the different ailments that I have to deal with. So my favorite product. So
This is mine that I like to use as well. It's our premium hemp oil, but it is at, how many milligrams was this?
That one's
one?
1,500.
At 1,500 milligrams. I do like to take this. It helps me to get through my day, and it has actually helped me to be a lot more active with my family, with taking the dogs out and for their walks, and it just has really changed so many things in my life by feeding my endocannabinoid system
Yep.
with this. Absolutely.
Now, as I had mentioned before, we are here in Vegas. We actually flew from Denver, Colorado. Our national conference, the Canaway Empower National Conference, is being held this Saturday and Sunday at the Westin Lakes Resort here in Henderson, Nevada. And we're very excited because there will be new products being launched, including a pet line. I've heard that there will be some Canaway Pets products coming out. Now, understanding all species of mammals have this endogenous cannabinoid system, and it needs to be fed on a dietary standpoint. So there will be some products that will be potentially launched. We're still waiting. We're excited. We're not really sure what's going to be coming out. But we did recently come out with a subsidiary known as Phyto Animal Health, and they produce CBD products specifically for animals because, again, animals need to be fed this system as well, and they're finding that it actually can really help pets, especially those pets that are dealing with getting older and really need to be able to feed the system as well. Because again, anytime you're deficient in something, your body doesn't work properly. It's no different. I share people all the time about this. If you have vitamin D and I take it away from your body, what happens when I take vitamin D away from your body after 6 months, 9 months, a year from now? Well, vitamin D is responsible for hormone production. It's also responsible for making your bones stronger. And so if I take vitamin D from your diet, over a period of time, you start to not function properly. You start to not feel good. You start to have medical conditions possibly. And so understanding that cannabinoids were put on this earth specifically for us to be able to intake into our bodies and actually feed this system so that it actually functions properly. And you'll find there's over 23,000 clinical research studies that have now been done on cannabinoids. Now, most of those on marijuana, some of it on THC, but also on CBD itself. And they're finding that this actually does help your body to function properly. And it really is a dietary supplement. It should not be a medicine. So we're really talking about feeding this system these phytocannabinoids to make our system work properly.
So we have an opportunity for everybody to, I know we have such a short period of time here, we'd be more than happy to send you more information about this hemp movement that's happening, about our company. Again, we are the subsidiary, we are the distribution side of Medical Marijuana Inc. Medical Marijuana Inc. has been around since 2009. They are the first publicly traded company in the cannabis space, as well as the first international company since we just launched into Europe in December. So 28 European Union,
Yes.
we launched into there. So first international cannabis company. We are federally legal in all 50 states. And we would love to educate you more about these amazing products. Again, this is a plant that was put here on this earth to feed our bodies, and we need to be doing that. The plant is also used for 50,000 uses. We talked, you know, kind of touched on a little bit, but you can make cars out of hemp. You can make, it can run off of hemp ethanol. You can make airplanes out of hemp. They just had one recently.
The houses, the hempcrete.
Crazy, right?
The hempcrete, yes.
Hempcrete. Our sister company is making hemp houses in San Diego out of hempcrete, and so we would just love to educate you guys a little bit further. If you want to know more about these amazing products, if you want to know more about this movement or about our companies, we'd be happy to do that. We have an email that you can send a request to. The email.
So the email is www.cb as in boy, D as in David, Genesis 129 at gmail.com. Again, that's www.cbdgenesis129 at gmail.com. And we will get back to you in a timely fashion if you have any questions whatsoever. There's also some information we can send to you via document. So it kind of helps to map out a little bit so that it's easier for you to be able to find information if you're trying to research more on it and understand more about the company. It's an amazing time. You know, I was against marijuana, absolutely against marijuana, until I really started learning that on the cannabis side of things, when it comes to hemp, there is no reason for any of us to be fearful of hemp. As a matter of fact, some of the growers in Colorado have been issues with people coming on their land and stealing their crops thinking it's marijuana. Well, I hate to tell you, but they can smoke all the hemp they want, and the worst you're going to get is a headache and maybe a little nauseous, because you cannot get high from hemp. It's not
the
possible.
hippies' disappointment. So we'd be happy to send you more information, guys. We're just here to educate. We'd also be happy to send you more information about the business opportunity in this industry. This industry is expected to grow 700% by 2020. This is huge. This is a movement that is happening in the end of prohibition, and I have to say, whoever jumps on board this train is along for a great ride.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and again, Medical Marijuana Inc. is a publicly traded company. You can find that stock ticker under MJNA. We've been in the news a lot lately. Hemp Meds Mexico is doing amazing things. We were actually invited to the United Nations and World Health Organization by Raul, who is our Hemp Meds president in Mexico, and he went in front of them in November to speak on CBD and how it should be a food nutritional supplement, should not be linked in with THC or marijuana, and that it should be able to have access across the whole entire world to feed our bodies. And so with that, the World Health Organization and the United Nations now have actually stated on, if you go to Google and type it in, you can find it, that we actually should do further research into CBD, and it should be considered that maybe it shouldn't be a Schedule 1 drug. So it's really about getting out there, educating people, and realizing that there's no reason to be fearful of all cannabis plants. You know, when it comes to THC, yes, you need to be cautious with that because it is psychoactive, but there's other cannabinoids that our bodies can ingest and not have that psychoactive effect. So I just want to say thank you for hopping on here and taking some time. I know it was a lot of information that was kind of thrown at you here at one time, and there's so much more we could talk about in these segments, but we just wanted to quickly hop on since we just happen to be here in Vegas and getting ready to head over to the Westin Lakes Resort and Spa.
Yeah, and last thing on that, guys, if you are here in Las Vegas and you would like to join us on Saturday and Sunday, please get in touch with us at that email. Just shoot us an email and we can get you tickets and we can get you there. And it's going to be an amazing time this weekend. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being open to being educated.
Yeah.
And
And feel free, come to us on that email. It's again, it's cbdgenesis129@gmail.com, and we'll get back to you.
Oh, you can also reach us at Sin City Hempire
yes,
at cox.net.
Yes.
Yes, Sin City Hempire with an H, Hempire.
Yeah. And give it to them one more time
Cox.net.
just in case, because I know sometimes it's a little difficult.
Sin City Hempire at cox.net, cox.net. So we look forward to hearing from you guys. We would love to
Yeah.
educate you and
Super
spread the word about
exciting.
CBD. And,
Lots of
and if you can
exciting
join us
things
this
going on.
weekend, let us know. We would love to have you there at our conference.
All right.
So, yeah.
all right. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you all
Peace
for
from
joining
Vegas.
us.
Yay.